The stars shone like tiny diamonds against the black void of space as Empress Terry stared at the holographic display. Her tall figure cast a long shadow in the dim light of the imperial throne room. The scales on her skin caught the blue glow from the hologram, making them shimmer like water under moonlight. "This cannot be right," she said, her voice soft but sharp. Commander June stood at attention. His uniform was perfect, not a wrinkle to be seen. He had served the Empress for 20 years, and he had never seen her look worried before. "The scouts are certain, Your Radiance. The humans have built 200 supercarriers. Each one is 3 miles long." Empress Terry walked around the display. The hologram showed big, blocky ships, nothing like the smooth, curved vessels of the Nuri Empire. These human ships looked ugly, built for war, not beauty. "And they came from where exactly?" she asked. "A small yellow star on the edge of the Orion Arm. The third planet is what we call a death world. High gravity, extreme weather, dangerous wildlife. We thought no intelligent life could evolve there." Empress Terry touched one of the ship images. It expanded, showing more detail. Gun ports covered the hull. Launch bays for smaller ships lined the sides. It was a machine made for only one purpose: war. How did we miss this? 200 ships this size would take decades to build. Commander June looked down. "We don't know. Our listening posts detected no signals until 3 days ago. It's like they appeared from nowhere." The Empress had ruled the Nuri Empire for over a century. In that time, she had brought 100 worlds under her control. No species had ever surprised her before. "What do they want?" she asked. "They've made no demands. They simply wait at the edge of our space." Empress Terry thought for a moment. The Nuri way was clear. Show strength first, then offer peace. New species always bowed to her empire once they saw its power. Send Ambassador Yuna with 10 warships. Show these humans our might, but offer them friendship if they accept our rule. Commander June bowed and left to carry out her orders. 3 days passed. Empress Terry sat in her private garden, enjoying the singing flowers that grew only on her homeworld. A soft chime interrupted her peace. "Enter," she called. A young messenger ran in out of breath. "Your Radiance, urgent news from Ambassador Yuna's fleet." The Empress stood quickly. "Speak." "The humans, they..." The messenger paused to catch his breath. "When our ships arrived, 50 of their supercarriers appeared around us. They came out of nowhere, Your Radiance. Our sensors didn't detect them until they were there." Empress Terry felt something she hadn't felt in a century: fear. "Is Ambassador Yuna safe?" "Yes, Your Radiance. The humans have invited her to talk, but she sent this message first." The messenger held out a small device. When activated, it showed Ambassador Yuna's face. The usually calm diplomat looked shaken. "Your Radiance," the recording began. "We have gravely underestimated the humans. Their technology may look crude, but their ships are more advanced than anything in our fleet. They have weapons we don't understand, and their numbers in the 50 ships that surround us are just a small part of their fleet." The message continued. "They say they want peace, but they will not bow to anyone. I recommend extreme caution. These are not like other species we have met. They evolved on a world that tried to kill them every day, and it shows in everything they do. They build to last, they build to survive, they build to win." The recording ended, and Empress Terry stood silently for a long time. "Your orders, Your Radiance?" the messenger asked. Empress Terry looked up at the stars through the clear dome of her garden. Somewhere out there, a species she had never considered. A threat had just changed everything. "Tell Commander June to prepare my ship. I will meet these humans myself." For the first time in the history of the Nuri Empire, an empress would go to another species, rather than summoning them to her. The stars had changed, and Empress Terry knew she must change with them, or face extinction. Empress Terry paced the dark war room. The only light came from the large screen showing images of human ships. 7 days had passed since her first contact with the humans, and she needed to know more. "Spy Master Day, what have your drones found?" she asked. Spy Master Day stepped forward. He was small for a Nuri, but his mind was sharp. Your Radiance, we have sent 50 cloaked drones into human space. 10 have been detected and destroyed. The rest have sent back disturbing information. He touched a control panel, and the screen changed to show a human supercarrier up close. Unlike the beautiful ships of the Nuri, with their flowing lines and artistic design, the human vessel looked like a flying fortress. Its hull was thick armor plate with no decoration. Weapon ports covered every surface. The humans build for function, not beauty, Day said. Each carrier is a city in space, home to over 50,000 humans. The screen showed inside views of a carrier. Humans moved with purpose through corridors and work areas. Fighter craft lined massive launch bays. Tanks and ground vehicles sat ready in deployment zones. These are not just warships, Day continued. They are complete military bases that can move from system to system. Each one carries enough ground forces to take a planet. Empress Tyri frowned. How do they supply such massive ships? Day changed the display again, showing internal factories and farms. They don't need to supply them. Each carrier has manufacturing facilities that can produce weapons, vehicles, and spare parts. They grow food in large garden sections. They recycle everything. They can operate for years without outside help. Commander June, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. This goes against all military logic. Our ships are built to fight quick battles and return to base. These human ships are built to fight forever. The screen showed humans training in various environments: desert, Arctic, underwater. They practiced fighting in every condition imaginable. Most interesting is their command structure, Day said. Our fleet has one chain of command. If you remove the head, the body dies. The humans are different. The display showed multiple command centers on different carriers. Every ship can operate independently. If one commander falls, another takes over. If one ship is destroyed, the others adapt. There is no single point of failure. Empress Terry watched as humans ran battle drills. They changed tactics midway through, adapting to new situations with ease. They seem anxious, always looking for threats. Exactly, Commander June said. They fight like they evolved as prey animals, always watching, always ready to change direction, always prepared for the worst, but they have the weapons of apex predators. A dangerous combination, the Empress said softly. Spymaster Day had more to show. Their technology is strange. Some of it seems primitive compared to ours. Some of it is far beyond our understanding. They use both together. The screen showed a human fighter craft. It had simple rocket engines, but weapons that glowed with strange energy. We intercepted some of their communications, Day said. They call their fleet the Guardian Force. They say it exists to protect Earth from threats. Your Radiance, they built 200 supercarriers because they expected to be attacked. Empress Terry turned away from the screen. In all her years of rule, she had never faced a species like this. The Nuri conquered through superior technology and culture. But how do you impress a species that builds for war even in peacetime? What do you suggest? She asked her advisors. Commander June spoke first. We should strike now while we still might have advantage. If we wait, they may grow stronger. Spymaster Day shook his head. No. Our drones have detected more carriers being built, and we still don't understand their weapons. A war could destroy both our empires. Empress Terry looked back at the screen, at humans preparing for battles that hadn't even come yet. We will try diplomacy first, but not from a position of weakness. Prepare our fleet, all of it. For the first time in 300 years, the entire Nuri fleet would assemble. 2,000 ships would gather to meet 200 human carriers. The Empress hoped it would be enough to negotiate from strength. She did not sleep that night. The space station hung in orbit around a gas giant with rings of purple and gold. It was built just for this meeting, a neutral place where two powers could talk as equals. Empress Tyri arrived first. Her royal ship led a fleet of 100 Nuri warships, each one a work of art as much as a weapon. They formed a perfect circle around the station, their hulls gleaming in the light of the nearby sun. The message was clear. The Nuri Empire came in strength and beauty, Inside the station, Nuri workers had transformed the main hall. The walls shimmered with living light crystals from the royal gardens. The floor was covered with rare metal that responded to footsteps with soft music. Even the air was special, filled with scents that calmed the mind and made one feel at peace. Empress Terry sat on a throne brought from her homeworld. Her advisors stood nearby, dressed in their finest clothes. They waited for the humans to arrive. Sure, they would be impressed by such display. A single human ship appeared without warning. It was small and plain, with no weapons showing. It docked at the station without ceremony. Admiral Yoon walked into the hall alone. She was shorter than the Nuri, with dark hair cut short. Her uniform was simple, dark blue with a few small medals. She looked around the room once, then walked straight to the Empress. "Greetings, Empress Terry. I bring good wishes from Earth." The Empress nodded slightly. "We welcome you, Admiral Yoon. You come alone? No guards? No advisors?" "I speak for Earth. No one else is needed." Admiral Yoon looked directly at the Empress, showing neither fear nor awe. The Empress gestured to a chair across from her throne. "Please sit. We have much to discuss." For an hour they talked about their worlds, their people, their beliefs. Then the Empress came to her point. "The Nuri Empire has brought peace and progress to 100 worlds. We offer Earth a place in our family as a protectorate. You would keep your own laws and leaders but accept our guidance and protection." Admiral Yoon's face showed nothing. "And what would Earth give in return?" 10% of your world's resources and products, access to your space for our ships, the right to establish bases on your colonies, a small price for our protection." Admiral Yoon stood up. "Humanity has no need of imperial protection. We prefer a relationship of mutual respect." The Empress frowned. "You are one world. We are 100. How can we be equals? Numbers of worlds do not matter. Capability does." Admiral Yoon took a small device from her pocket and placed it on the table. It projected a set of coordinates. "If you wish to understand humanity's place in the galaxy, send an observer ship to these coordinates in 6 hours." The meeting ended shortly after. Both sides returned to their ships. 6 hours later, a single Nuri scout ship arrived at the given coordinates. What it saw was sent directly to Empress Tyree's ship. 200 human supercarriers moved in perfect formation. They created shapes in space, first a sphere, then a spiral, then a cube. Each move was precise, with ships passing within meters of each other at high speed. Then, at a signal, all 200 ships fired their main engines at exactly the same moment and jumped to light speed in 200 different directions. The scout ship returned and its captain reported to the Empress. "It was like watching a dance, your radiance. Each ship knew exactly where to be at every moment. I have never seen such coordination, not even in our best fleet exercises." Empress Tyeri called for Admiral Yoon. When the human arrived on the royal ship, she found the Empress alone in her viewing room. "You made your point well, Admiral," the Empress said. "Your fleet is impressive." Admiral Yoon nodded. "This is only our training fleet. Our response fleet is otherwise engaged." The Empress turned sharply. "There are more than the 200 we have seen. Of course, Earth does not show all its strength at once." The Empress looked out at the stars. "I begin to see why you feel no need for our protection. Perhaps we should discuss a treaty between equals after all." Admiral Yoon smiled for the first time. "That would be wise." As they walked to the meeting room, the Empress wondered what otherwise engaged meant, and what had made humans build such a massive fleet in the first place. There was more to this story than she knew, and for the first time in centuries, Empress Terry felt she had much to learn. General Min stared at the view screen with narrow eyes. The human supercarrier floated in space, seemingly unaware of the 10 Nuri warships hiding behind the nearby moon. The UNS Resolute was alone, conducting research on a gas giant at the edge of Imperial space. "A perfect target," General Min said to his bridge crew. "The Empress is too cautious. One captured human ship will give us their technology and show them our true power." His second-in-command looked nervous. "Sir, the peace talks are going well. This action is not authorized. General Min laughed. When I present the Empress with a human supercarrier, I will be a hero. Prepare the capture nets and boarding pods. The attack began without warning. The Nuri ships fired special weapons designed to disable rather than destroy. Energy nets wrapped around the Resolute's engines. Boarding pods shot toward its hull. For 30 seconds, everything went as planned. Then the Resolute responded. Armor plates shifted to reveal hidden weapon ports. The energy nets were sliced apart by precise laser fire. The boarding pods were intercepted by small defense drones that seemed to appear from nowhere. They're powering. Up weapons, shouted a sensor officer. The Resolute turned with surprising speed for such a large vessel. Its main guns fired, and 2 Nuri ships exploded. Fighter craft poured from its launch bays. Hundreds of them, far more than the Nuri. Intelligence had reported possible. We must retreat, the second-in-command urged. No, General Min shouted. Press the attack. We outnumber their support ships. It was over in minutes. 8 Nuri warships destroyed. The remaining 2, including General Min's command ship, were heavily damaged and drifting. A message came from the Resolute. Nuri vessels, you have committed an act of war. Stand down and prepare to be boarded. Across the Empire, alarms began to sound. Empress Terry was woken from sleep by Commander June. Your Radiance, we have an emergency, he said, his voice shaking. General Min attacked a human supercarrier without authorization. His fleet has been destroyed. The Empress dressed quickly and hurried to the war room. The situation was worse than she imagined. General Min is captured, Commander June reported. The human ship suffered minimal damage. But that is not our worst problem. The main screen showed a map of the Nuri Empire. Red dots appeared all over it. Human supercarriers are appearing in our space, Commander June said. Not just a few systems, 500 at last count. They're not attacking. They're just waiting. 500? The Empress asked. That's not possible. They can't have that many ships. The ships match the energy signatures of the carriers we've seen before. They're everywhere, Your Radiance. In every major system. Some appeared less than a light year from our homeworld. Another officer spoke up. We're receiving a transmission from Earth. Text only. The message appeared on screen. Empress Tyri, we regret the incident with your General Min. To avoid further misunderstandings, we invite you to visit Earth as our honored guest. A formal apology for General Min's actions would be appreciated. The war room erupted in argument. Some advisors insisted it was a trap. Others demanded immediate military response. Still others wanted to negotiate from a distance. Commander June silenced them all with a raised hand. Your Radiance, we cannot match this deployment capability. They could strike anywhere in our empire at once. We don't even understand how they moved so many ships so quickly. Empress Terry stared at the map, at the hundreds of red dots scattered across her empire. This was not just a show of force. It was a complete change in the balance of power. I will go to Earth, she announced. Her council protested loudly. It was too dangerous. No Empress had ever visited another species' homeworld. It was beneath her dignity. Empress Tyri raised her hand for silence. If they wanted war, they would have started it already. 500 carriers could destroy our empire in days. Instead, they ask for talk. I will go. As her ship prepared for the journey, Empress Terry stood alone in her observation room. For the first time in her 300-year rule, she felt true fear, not for herself, but for her people. What kind of species could build such a fleet? And what had made them feel they needed it? She would find out soon enough. Empress Terry stood on the bridge of her flagship as it approached the blue-green planet. 6 human supercarriers escorted her ship, 3 on each side. From this close, she could finally see the true size of these vessels. Each was like a moving city in space, covered with armor and weapons, yet also showing signs of life. Gardens visible through clear sections, lights from thousands of windows, small craft moving around them like insects around a hive. They're beautiful in their own way, she said quietly. Her view soon shifted to Earth itself. Screens showed massive storms raging across one continent. Volcanoes erupted on another. The planet's surface was mostly water, with powerful currents and waves that could swallow cities. Scans showed thousands of species of predators on land, in sea, and in air. How can anything live there, let alone build a civilization? She wondered. Admiral Hyun met the Empress at the landing site, a platform overlooking a vast ocean. Wind whipped around them, and in the distance dark clouds gathered. A storm is coming, Empress Terry noted. There's always a storm coming somewhere on Earth, Admiral Hyun replied. We learned to prepare. For 3 days, the Empress toured Earth's cities, military bases, and natural wonders. She saw humans living in deserts, in Arctic regions, in deep forests, and on small islands surrounded by dangerous seas. Everywhere they built strong shelters and kept weapons close. On the final day, she met with Earth's leaders in a building designed to withstand earthquakes, storms, and even attacks. Your species evolved on a world that tried to kill you, she observed to Admiral Hyun during a break in the talks. You built your civilization expecting hostility. Admiral Hyun looked out the window at the city below. We built hoping for peace, she corrected, but preparing for anything less. The treaty they signed that day was simple: peace between Earth and the Nuri Empire, trade routes established, cultural exchange encouraged. Both sides would respect the other's space. 6 months later, the treaty was tested. Human deep space. Scouts detected something approaching the galaxy, a swarm of unknown vessels moving fast, consuming everything in their path. The scouts barely escaped to bring warning. Empress Terry called an emergency meeting with Admiral Hyun. Your scouts say these creatures have destroyed 3 galaxies already. How can we stop them? Not alone, Admiral Hyun said simply, but together, perhaps we have a chance. The Mutual Defense Pact was signed the next day. Human shipyards began building new carriers. Nuri engineers adapted their technology to work with human weapons. For the first time, the 2 species truly worked as one. 1 year after her first visit to Earth, Empress Terry stood on the command deck of the UNS Guardian, the largest human supercarrier ever built. Around it flew thousands of ships, human carriers and their escorts, Nuri cruisers with their beautiful design now reinforced with human armor, and new vessels built by both species together. Admiral Owen joined her at the viewing window. The enemy will reach our outer systems in 3 days, she said. The Empress watched as human and Nuri crew members worked side by side, each bringing their special skills to the battle ahead. A century ago, I would have considered your militarism barbaric, she admitted. Admiral Hyun smiled slightly. And now? Now I understand that preparedness is not paranoia when the universe is truly dangerous. A young human officer approached them. Admiral Empress, the fleet is ready. As the combined fleet moved to meet the approaching threat, Empress Terry felt something new. Not fear, but hope. The humans, with their death world perspective, their constant preparation for disaster, might be exactly what the galaxy needed. Right now. In the ship's mess hall that evening, human and Nuri crews shared meals and stories. Empress Terry raised her cup in a toast that was repeated across the fleet. To unlikely friends, she said, and to survival. The ships jumped to light speed, 2 civilizations united, ready to face whatever came next.